pine cone may look just like snow, but he can't hear the ho ho ho. And Santa Cat, he still believes we'll vlog every day till Christmas Eve.
Right now I'm going to film a Glitterature on the book The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. Now, this book was a book that was recommended to me in the comments during my last Glitterature that I did on like Vlogmas Day 4 or something, where I bought all of those books. And this isn't one of the books that I bought, which is like ridiculous. But what happened was I got several comments telling me that I would enjoy this book. And so I looked it up and I thought, okay, that does sound like a book that I'd be interested in. And even though I had bought all of those books in book form, like in actual book form, I wanted one book that I was reading on my iPad because I knew that I was going to go back to LA and then back to Tennessee and then back to LA after Christmas. So I wanted a book that I could read on my iPad for when I was traveling. And I have the ability to read several books at once without getting the plot lines confused. I don't have to just read a book from cover to cover before starting a new one. So this was going to be my travel book, and then I was going to start on one of those other books that's over there, and that's why I keep like looking over there and pointing over there. But yeah, I ended up liking it so much that I just finished the whole thing. And this book was like 600 pages. Yeah, 646 pages in the iPad version. So that's a long book. That's a lot of book to read in a couple of weeks, in addition to kind of reading other books. I just loved it. I just fell in love with it. So it is dystopian. It is teen fiction. I know a lot of you guys are like, why do you only do teen fiction? You should read something more your own age and more adult. I enjoy teen fiction and I enjoy dystopian, and I read for enjoyment. I also read for educational purposes. Like sometimes I'll read books just to learn about things. This isn't to learn. This is just for entertainment. I like teen books. Don't kill me. This book is about a world where kids between like around puberty, so between the ages of like 10 and 18, become infected with these different abilities, and they call them diseases. And there's 5 different ones. I'm not explaining this very well. There's 5 different ones, and they're each given a color code. There's the ability to have electricity run through your body, and that's yellow. There's the ability to affect people's minds. That is orange. You can force people to do things or think things or erase their memories. Red is the ability to start fires, like being a pyromaniac. Blue is the ability to move things with your mind. So, you know, like push someone over without touching them or something like that, which happens in the book. That sounds really graphic, like push them without, no, that's not what I would do if I was a blue, like right away. And then green, I'm not really sure exactly what green was actually. I think it has something to do with like being good with technology or something. I'm not really sure actually what green did. And that was actually one of my frustrations with the story, is that they never sit there and explain the colors. You have to figure it out through the book, and like I never figured out what green was, so clearly they didn't do a very good job at explaining the colors. So that was frustrating, because I would have enjoyed the book more if I had known from the beginning what the colors were and what these kids were doing. Like they didn't explain orange forever, and that's the main character is an orange. Her name is Ruby. She should have been a red, get it? Rubies are red. Most of the kids die when they're infected with this disease. They just drop off and they're dead one day. And then other kids develop these powers, but they stay living. And the government like freaks out, and there's this really corrupt president, and he locks all these kids up in these camps, and they're basically like prison camps, and the whole country like goes to shambles, and all of the other countries lock their borders. It's like really dramatic. And the government is like ridiculous. Like they treat this situation so poorly, which is a little bit unrealistic. I feel like some dystopian books do a really good job at making you feel like the ideas behind it are authentic. Like you wouldn't necessarily believe it, but you can understand in that situation why maybe the country would react the way it does. This was not one of those situations. No, like I don't think this was realistic, but it was still a really good book. So it's about this girl, and she escapes her camp, and she like falls in love, and she runs around and does like things with her powers, and like learns to control her powers a little bit. And it's a really good book. Like I really enjoyed it. I zipped through it, and then I downloaded the sequel because there's a sequel, and I was all excited. I wanted to download it like right that second, and I could not get into the sequel, guys. Like, what a bummer. I bought it on my iPad, I started reading it immediately, and I have tried, like, let me show you how far I got reading before I gave up. Come on, iPad, go a little faster. We don't have all day. We don't have all day. 120 pages in out of 660. I could not get through it, guys. Like, I was just kind of miserable with this book. I just didn't think it was as good. It was slow. I, again, didn't understand the personalities. There's all these new people, and I just feel like the author could have done a better job at making the reader understand what's going on. And I understand suspense, but I think it got to the point where it was like affecting my ability to enjoy the story because I had no clue what was going on for like 120 pages straight. So what I decided to do is I downloaded the rest of it on my Audible app because I thought, okay, well, I'm having trouble getting through it reading wise. Maybe if I listen to it on my runs, like as I'm doing something else, I can get through this kind of boring part and start enjoying the story more. Sure enough, I'm enjoying it on my Audible app, but I certainly was not enjoying it reading it in person, which is really strange, and I don't really know why. I've really been enjoying my Audible app. It's just nice to be able to listen to books sometimes because you can do it as you're doing other things. So if I'm in the car or on a run or cooking, it's just something that you can do, like multitasking, that you can't do with a regular book. So I've said this in videos before, but if you want a free audiobook, you can go to audible.com/Elle, and I will have the information below. But it is, if you've never like listened to an audiobook, you should give it a try because I was kind of skeptical, but Blair was like a really big fan of it, and I actually really like it. So I do both now. I do audiobooks like during the day when I'm doing stuff, and also while I'm getting ready, and then I read like actual books at night. But yeah, I definitely recommend the book. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like my favorite dystopian book of all time. If you guys want to know one that I thought was really good, it's Delirium. I have a Glitterature on it, and there's 3 books in the series. But that one I felt like was really realistic, as weird as it would be to have a country or a world believe that love is like a bad thing and want to erase it from your abilities. It somehow made sense in the book, and that's what I feel like was missing from this book, is that I don't feel like there was realism in it. Like I felt like it was a fake story, but the idea behind it was really good, and I did really like the love story that developed. I can't believe I almost didn't talk about this. I was so mad at what she does at the end of the book. So spoiler alert right now, if you guys haven't seen this or read it and you don't want to hear what happens at the end, stop the video right now and I'll see you guys later. Bye! But for those of you that want to hear, so at the end of the book, she decides that in order to save Liam, they got captured by the Children's League, and she decides that she is going to erase all of his memories of her and send him on his merry way. Now this is the stupidest thing ever, because first of all, the world is super corrupt and awful. So even if he like isn't in the Children's League, he's gonna have a pretty terrible life, and he's in love with her, and I don't think that it is her place to take away those feelings. Like, I almost feel like she did it out of, I know she did it not in selfish reasons, like she did it for him, but I think it was selfish because she took away something that he would have never wanted her to take away and didn't give him a choice, and I just thought it was cruel. I wasn't happy about it at all. So I'm not very happy with Ruby right now. I think she was kind of not very fair to Liam. I know she did it supposedly from a place of like selflessness. Like she was gonna stay and be in the Children's League and be their little slave because she made a deal that they could let him go. But where's he gonna go to? I mean, if you read the second book, you know that he gets straight into trouble again. So it's not like, what is he gonna do? The world sucks right now in this book. So it's not like he's gonna go and live in a land of rainbows and unicorns and have a happy life and find another girl and fall in love and forget all about Ruby and have a great life. He basically, like, it sucks to be him, plus she erased all of his memories. I just don't think that was good at all. And I feel like, okay, so sometimes in books, and Delirium is a really good example of this, I love that book, something happens that's really like selfless or selfish, but right now we're talking about selfless. Like, they do something for their love in the story that you honestly understand. Like, it sucks for them and it's selfless because it hurts them, but it's good for the other person. This was not that situation. I really don't think. I really think Liam would have been a happier person to stay with her, and I think she made a mistake, and I think she kind of was stupid in that moment. All right, so that was my opinion. Yeah, I recommend the book. Especially now that you guys know what the colors are, so it will make more sense to you, except green. If anyone knows what green is, leave me a comment so that I can maybe understand the story better, because I still am not sure what greens do. I just know they're not dangerous, or as dangerous as red, yellow, and orange. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this Glitterature, and I will see you guys with my next video. Bye.
Our finest gifts we bring, yeah, I'm on the drum, yeah, I'm on the snare drum, yeah, I'm on the beat, cause the beat goes dumb, and I only spit heat cause I'm playing for the sun, playing for the king.